Hey Scorpio, how's it going? I got some oracle messages for you. When I was meditating, I saw it was a pretty simple, straightforward thing. It was a sound wave that flew across like a desert and hit a skull. It was like a visible sound wave, kind of like a cartoon, a blue sort of energy disc thing that went horizontally and hit a skull and cracked the skull into pieces. And then the scene immediately changed to someone who put like some device on a bridge, like stuck a device onto one of the support beams of a bridge, and this device emitted a sound. It was like a portable speaker or something, and the sound was extremely, extremely loud. And the sound it played was the exact resonant frequency of the materials that made up the bridge, and the bridge crumbled into dust and collapsed. And then the third and final thing that the scene changed to was like an opera singer, a woman holding a wine glass and shattering the wine glass with her voice. So I'm getting a lot of this resonant frequencies that, destroy the thing with which they resonate. This is a common phenomenon. It's used a lot. Part of ultrasound is like breaking up kidney stones and stuff like that by using the resonant frequencies of kidney stones and other organic matter. There's a lot that you can do with resonant frequencies to clear up blockages, to, like physically or metaphorically or mentally and so on. Sometimes just listening to the right kind of music can help change an emotional state, or I don't know, maybe it's something as simple as going to see a doctor to see about some kidney stones. I don't know. Then I pulled 3 symbols from my divination system, and I got the Earth, the Divine, and the Queen. So what I'm seeing here is like something that it needs a space in your life to exist. Like something needs to be cleared away so that something can be born into this reality, something from you or something that's for you. The Queen is sort of like this womb symbolism, like this pregnant symbolism. And the Divine in this case, I think, represents like something that's really important to you or important for you or just effective in general. Maybe I should turn this light on, huh? And it's got to have a spot in your life that is occupied right now by something else, something that is excessive, and it's kind of like baggage. Because then I pulled an I Ching hexagram for you, and I got hexagram 28, or great exceeding, with no changing lines. And generally this is referring to something that is out of balance or in excess. But it's sort of like a good in excess. Like something that you've created, you've built over time, resources you've collected, something. It's like, it's the natural byproduct of something you've been doing is it's now excessive and out of balance, and you can afford to get rid of a lot of it, or at least some of it, whatever it is. It could be, I don't even know what it could be. It could be anything. It could be ideas, beliefs, money, stuff, an excess of energy and activity, an excess of creativity. I don't know, but whatever it is, you have to use it now to clear out space. So like you spend this excessive baggage, you get rid of it. Something good comes of it because you're like spending it. You're not like getting rid of it. You're using this excessive resource that you have at your disposal. And so in using it, you do something productive, you get something worthwhile out of it, and you clear out space for this new thing to take form. This excess of resource, whatever it is, if it like becomes too large, it becomes difficult and unruly. It's difficult to control. Or if it's something that's too firm, like maybe beliefs or maybe creative energy, if it's too firm, then it can easily break. So the firmness needs to be softened, or the largeness of it needs to be shrunken so that it can bend and adapt instead of breaking, or that it can be smaller and more in your control. You know, there's always the good example with this symbol is like taking on a whole bunch of responsibilities, or like, let's say you claim a whole bunch of territory, or that you're gifted a whole bunch of territory or something like that, or inheritance or resources, or you expand your business, or you expand your responsibilities in some way, and now you have like all this stuff that you're responsible for that you have to do something with. And it's like an extraordinary situation. It's, you know, these types of situations only come around once or a few times in anyone's lifetime, and so you have to take extraordinary action. You need to delegate responsibilities, or you need to trim the fat, get rid of the baggage. You need to organize the land, or reorganize the resources, or spend the resources before they get wasted, or something like that. You have to like prune and take this extraordinary action of reorganizing all of this space, all of this wealth, whatever it is, all this energy, and it requires a great deal of carefulness. You know, the image of walking across a bending beam is brought up in the text, in the I Ching. So it's also like a test of your faith, a test of your skill, a test of everything you've developed and learned so far needs to be used, and you need to, you know, keep your wits about you. Do it at a good pace, keep your balance while you're doing it. You know, there could be some temporary danger that you have to navigate, and it's really going to be a test of everything that you are up to this point. And that there's something about sound here. I don't know what it is. Something that you can see. It could be different for all of you. But the key has something to do with clearing up blockages through sound or vibration, is finding the resonant frequencies of things and using that to clear that thing. It's like that alchemical maxim of like cures like. You know, you use acid to cure acid, right? If you have like heartburn, it's because you have an excess of acid in your stomach, because your body for some reason feels the need to produce more and more acid. So if you introduce acid, like take a few sips of vinegar or something like that, that can oftentimes get rid of the heartburn or the acid reflux or whatever it is. So you cure acid by consuming acid. Of course, the consumable safe kind. And things like that, you know, the whole idea of like cures like might be really important right now to you. But let's clarify this. So we have the Earth, the Divine, and the Queen coming out to clarify this. So I'm going to pull some cards for you. But yeah, it's something like real that wants to come into your life. It's not just an idea. It's like something practicable. Maybe there's like a technique or something, or some skill that you can really use, something practical or practicable that is looking to be born, like you're pregnant with something, maybe literally. And you need to make some room for it, because it's really important. It's from like a divine source here. So let's see what that is. Five of Wands. Interesting. Clarifying the Earth. So maybe there's like some relationships or some social shit that needs to be cleared out, some people that no longer belong in your life, or some ideas or beliefs that are causing conflict that no longer serve you. Maybe you've got some old ideas or old beliefs that have no place anymore, that are really interfering with this thing coming into your reality. And you got to clear all that shit out and make room for this new thing, because it's not going to be in line. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe the thing itself that wants to be birthed in is going, whether you clear it out on your own terms, clear out the space on your own terms or not, it's going to clear out the space. Maybe like it's the sound wave that's going to crack this old dead skull, this old thing that you got to get rid of. And it's like going to happen whether you want it to or not. So it's better to identify it now and get rid of it on your own terms instead of letting this thing take care of it, because it just might be a little more surprising and a little more difficult if it like gets cleared out by something else, you know, instead of you choosing to clear it out on your own terms. Whatever this idea, whatever this thing is that needs the room in your life is going to push it out and clear it out. And that could just be more jarring and more difficult. So I think there are probably some conflicting relationships you might be having, or there's whatever it is that's causing conflict in your life. Really look at it, find out why it's causing conflict. What is excessive about it? You know, what are the different sides of the conflict, and what about those sides is out of balance? Why is this conflict occurring? Something is excessive, something is out of balance here, and focus on that. And that's probably the thing that needs to be cleared out. But what is this divine thing? Why is it like a divine impulse that's coming in here? Well, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is essentially something that needs a balanced environment, something that needs a balanced person, a balanced human being to exist with. This thing will enforce balance. And if you don't, you know, oftentimes if we don't choose to be in balance and then something forces us to be in balance, it will feel bad for us, because it will force us to get rid of things we don't necessarily want to get rid of, things that we still kind of enjoy, and it will give us things that we don't necessarily want, and they'll feel like burdens. But if we choose to do it, then we'll see the things that we're being forced to get rid of we actually don't need, and the things that we're being forced to hold are actually not burdens, they're just responsibilities that we can handle and that we ought to handle. So this thing coming in it requires balance and will enforce balance in your life. And it's from a spiritual source. This is a psychological balance, an emotional balance. It's going to lead to a physical balance, and it's essentially going to be pretty relentless. It's going to this is going to be that test of your faith, test of your strength, test of your skill, is how this thing comes into your life. It's going to be kind of intense. It's going to be a bit transformative, and it's not going to let up until your life is balanced. And ultimately, it's for your success. It's not a bad thing. It's just the way you look at it. Whether it's on your terms, you'll see it as the good thing that it is. But if it's not on your terms and you ignore the excessive, out of balance baggage in your life, then it's going to feel like a bad thing. So this is just trying to bring your attention to this. It just wants you to prepare for it. And it's letting you know, like, extraordinary action is necessary. Like, you can't ignore it. It's going to be something that you just cannot ignore. And oftentimes these things happen to us. There are things that happen to us in life that we can't control, that transform our lives, and we just have to go with it and make the best of it. But this is going to work out for your favor, because here we have the Queen, which is sort of this divine feminine symbol here. And here we have two cards that came out. We have the Queen of Cups, the Queen, and the Devil. So this is going to be addressing an emotional burden that you have, or some type of really deep hang-up. Something that's really like part of your character, something that's deep emotionally rooted within you. This thing coming into your life is like, it's time to clear this out. It's time to get rid of this emotional baggage that you've been carrying around. I get the sense for some of you for years and years. There's something that this thing just wants you to know. It's time to just get rid of that emotional baggage. It has no place in your heart anymore. Just, it's time for you to look at it, to heal it, to integrate what you can, and get rid of everything else. Get rid of the stuff that's based in illusion. Integrate the real parts about it, and get rid of the stuff that's illusion and illusory and delusional. And it's, again, this sort of relentless feeling to it. You know, the queen, the sort of third sphere on the tree of life, if you will, the very, very top of the left-handed path of the tree of life, what's called Binah, or understanding. It's a Saturnian sphere, and it rules the queens in the tarot deck. And it is the queen of the tree of life, the queen of reality. And it's Saturnian. It's ruled by the planet Saturn, or it rules the planet Saturn, which is extremely relentless when it comes to our shortcomings and our baggage. You know, you have the reaper with the scythe that just is going to cut away everything you don't need. And it doesn't really care what you think about it. It's very impersonal. It's like a too bad, you needed this. Like, it's a very relentless energy. And so it's good to like get on board the train while you can, instead of like, you know, if Saturn is coming down into your life in one way, it's best to just start walking down the road toward him and meet him halfway. You know, don't wait until he knocks on your door, because he's not going to be happy about it. You know, it's best to like meet Saturn and be like, what do you need from me? Obviously you're a serious dude. I gotta just get on board and accept the fact that this is happening to me in my life. There's obviously some baggage you need to get rid of. What do you need to get rid of? And like accept it gracefully and with toughness and strength and faith. Because if you sit around and make Saturn knock on your door, he's not going to be happy. He's going to take more than what is necessary. He's going to take a little bit extra to kind of teach you a lesson not to rest on your laurels and become complacent. If you have so much resources, so much energy to spend and use, don't greedily hang on to it. Saturn hates greedy people. And it's funny because the greediest people work with Saturnian energy in this world, right? In this dark age we live in. It's kind of this oxymoron. Those people don't really realize that they are going to be the worst punished by the very energies that they work with. So I know this is like an extreme case, and I don't get the sense that this is what you're dealing with, but of course tarot is very, very dramatic, right? Tarot goes to extreme symbolism, so it's like this. You know, I'm not saying it is this, but it's just an idea to reflect upon that. You know, get on board the train. Don't like wait till the last minute. Don't pretend like you can ignore it or rest on your laurels or pretend like it's not happening. Like, there's some extra energy, some extra resources that you need to use, and just use them. You've got things to do, things to create, and new things that want to come into your life that want you to create even more. So use everything you have at your disposal and like just start getting things done, you know, and make a lot of room for the next project, the next thing. So I'm going to pull one more token for you, Scorpio. One last thing. It's just sticking in my hand. So here, we've got the concubine. This is one of the, sort of like the human aspects of my divination system. So you're definitely not alone in this. There is someone who can help you through it. There's someone who can be a comforter for you. There's at least some sort of there is a very comforting energy here too. As relentless as it is, it's very there's another energy or the same energy that's mixed in that's quite comforting. And as extraordinary as this action is that you need to take, and as relentless as you have to be with yourself, and as relentless as it's going to be in your life, it's as long as you are of the mentality of keeping in balance and doing this and taking the steps to go through with it and just doing what has to be done, it's going to be graceful. It's going to be fine for you. It's going to be very transformative, and there's going to be a lot of change occurring. There's going to be a lot of excess baggage cut out, but it's going to be like this. It's like a really good thing for you. And you're going to know that, and you're going to be comforted by that fact, and it's not going to be a problem. It's going to be intense. It's going to be really significant, but you're going to be able to just get through it. you're just going to be able to, you know, as long as you're aware of what's going on, you're keeping balanced, and you're just going through it. And other people are going to be like, wow, like, look at how this person's life is just changing. Like, look at all this stuff falling away from this person, all this space being cleared up around this person, and they're just getting through it, and they're just like not even bothered, and they're just like making these huge transformative moves, and they're doing these really great things and just getting through this really intense, significant chapter of their lives. And people will be really impressed. You'll be really impressed with yourself. Like this test of faith and strength, the test of everything that you are up to this point, you're going to see how you're using these resources, and how maybe you didn't even know you had them. Maybe you didn't even know you had so much skill and talent and faith and capability, and you're going to even surprise yourself, and that's going to give you even more comfort. You're going to just be able to comfort yourself through your own achievements and the realization of your own skill and power. Whew. All right, Scorpio. I think that's all the oracle and I have for you today. I think we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I always appreciate it when you stop by. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.